Mike from MPCstuff. First we're going to show you, generally this is actually how to open up an MPC3000. Although in this certain video we're going to actually show you how to install the wood panels from MPCstuff.com. Here on the back side, you're going to see when you're on the underside of it, we've put this on a piece of foam so we don't mess up the front. This is just for video purposes so you can see it easier. You're going to take out here, you're going to have 1, 2, 3 screws along this edge. We've already took ours off. And over here you're going to see 3, 1, 2, 3 here that you need to take off. Once you take those off, you're going to also need to take these off here that are up against the casing. There's one here, there's one here, there's one here, and one here. This is going to enable you now to pull the front part forward, which I'll show you now. Now that you have that like that, you'll be able to open up the MPC and see inside. This will give us access to a lot of things. If you want, up here is where we work on tack switches or pad sensors. Here there's memory, the SCSI board to install a drive or anything of that nature. You can all see inside here. So now we're going to open this up and we're going to get our panels out, so I'm going to show you that next. Alright, now that we have our casing tilted upward, you're going to see inside here, 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 and here. It's hard to see from the video, but when you look inside there, you're going to see screws. You're going to pull each of those screws out, and that's what's holding in each one of these sides. So you're going to pull those screws out on each side. Then you also have, on the front side of the unit, you have a screw here, here, and over here, which are holding this panel on here. So make sure that you get those off there. Let's take this front panel and this panel off by taking the screws I just showed you on both sides. So now, we're going to take off this here, this panel, and the right panel so we can get our wood ones on. Okay, now we're going to show you how to put the wood panels on. We have ours off now that we just showed you now. And you're going to see, you want to just kind of take yours and set it up, see what it's going to look like a little bit. Let's see what we're going to work with there, and we're going to put these on. So next step, I'm going to show you how to put on side panels. Alright, now we have our inside propped up, as you can see here. We have it propped up here. There's two ways to do this. I do not suggest doing it the easy way. It's just going to probably cause problems in the long run. As you can see, these panels will fit on here. The old ones, as you can see, the old type of panel was held on in a similar fashion, and it has holes right here where you took out your old screws. You can use the provided screws that we provide, and you can put them by holding this end. Just make sure you pull it in at the same time and put the set screws inside there. The only issue you might have when you do it that way is when you go into these holes, you're right on this edge here. So when you're on that edge, there's a possibility you might not get it in all the way, and the screw's not going to hold very hard because it's going to want to come out and break in this area. So for that reason, we suggest doing it this following way that we're going to show you. And we're going to have to remove these boards, which is not that big of a deal. They just kind of move out of the way a little bit so we can work on this side and get to this point so we can go in a different area. And I'm going to show you that part right now. First, we're going to take off this board here and just kind of move it out of the way. So I'm going to show you that now. So now that we have those screws out, this is going to move around here. Next, we're going to need to take these two screws out that are holding the jog wheel area in place, because that's going to have to move out of the way a little bit too to move this board out. So we get these two out here. That's going to enable us to pull the jog wheel with the board to move it out of the way. You'll see this is also on the other side. That's how we would get to all the buttons or any tack switches that we would need to change. So at this point, we're just going to leave that kind of hanging here so we can go ahead and install our side panel. Our side panel would go on here like this. So I'm going to go ahead real quick. We're going to get the other side off. I'm going to show you how to get the other side off real quick so we can work on both sides. So over here now, we're going to take off the screw here, 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 and here, and here to get these off this edge so I can put that panel up there on this edge. Alright, now that you have your PCBs out of the way here, you're going to look on the front side and you're going to put your first panel on, and we're going to put it on the left side. Make sure that you bring it all the way down so this part here fits totally against the casing right here. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip this back upward, and you're gonna see on the inside now, these are the holes that we're gonna use now to put our screws in. So we're gonna wanna make sure this is all the way down on the top, and this is against here, and we're gonna take the self-tapping screws that come with, and we're gonna take each one and we're gonna screw them in. So I'm gonna show you now how we're gonna screw them in here. All right, now we're gonna put these in here. These can be a little hard to get at sometimes. But you're gonna make sure you're holding this where you want it to be on the front casing. And try not to drop it. You're not going to want to get it all the way tight because you're going to want to have to be able to move it a little bit if you need to get the top and the bottom one in. So now we're going to go ahead and put those two in as well. All right, now we're going to go to the top one. All right, now we have those three in, so we finished this side. And if you want to lift downward a little bit, just be careful. You can see that we have the one panel on. So now we're going to go ahead, now that we have the one panel on, we're going to go ahead and put our center panel on. The center panel, fortunately, is going to be the easiest one. Put your center panel on, just like that. Once you get the center panel on, you're going to do the same type of thing here. You'll see the holes line up. If they don't, you might have to go a little bit on the one side of it, and then you're going to go ahead and put those screws in, the same set screws that we have. Go ahead and put those in here. So now we have our screws up there in the top, and now on this side we're going to do the exact same thing that we did on that other side. We're going to go ahead and put our panel on, just like we did on the other side, and we're going to come in here and put our screws in here, here, and here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now and put the screws in on this side. Alright, and now we're going to put these three in here, and then we're going to go to the next step after that. I already showed on the one side, so I'm not going to show you on this side here. But we're going to put these three in just like that. That way we have all the panels flush. Then we're going to put these back in, just like the way we did before. So I'm going to put this one in, and then we're going to get to the next step. Okay, now we're going to put everything back to the way we had it. So you're going to go ahead and put your buttons back. Just make sure you're going into the right area here. Which can be a little pain sometimes. Just got to find the right spot. There it goes. Now all our buttons are in. Make sure you check the buttons on the other side to make sure they're all right and not wonky or out of their spot. So now you're going to go ahead and put all your screws back in all around here, just like you took out before. We're going to do the same thing over here. Put our board back up. Put this one like it was. Just like that. And then once we have all those in, we put that all together, then we'll be able to swing this back down. So we already took these out. All it is the same thing that you did before. You're going to put your screws back in that you took out from here, the three that go in here, the two that go in here. And then after that, make sure you put the two back in here. Make sure your jog wheel's good on the front, and then I'll show you the rest. All right, so all our screws are back in now. We're going to shut up our unit here and seal everything back up. All right, now we've shut our unit, and you can see what we have our wood panels on here. And we're going to take the first step that we did, and if you remember when we were setting it up, on the back side, there was the 4 screws, and then there's a 3 on each underside, and the 3 that are on each underside of the unit. You see here, there's one here, 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 and here. Those are gonna go in, and then you're gonna get your 4 that are on the top and the back, put those back in, and now you've installed the MPCstuff wood panels on the MPC3000.